Viral infections relevant to surgery. Hepatitis. Both hepatitis B and hepatitis C carry risks in surgery as they are blood-borne pathogens that can be transmitted both from the patient to the surgeon and vice versa. The usual mode of transmission is blood-to-blood contact through a needle stick injury or a cut. Many cases of hepatitis B are asymptomatic and a surgeon may carry the virus without being aware of it. As there is an effective vaccine against hepatitis B, surgeons should know their immune status to hepatitis B and be vaccinated against it. Hepatitis C infection often becomes chronic with the risk of significant liver damage but is potentially curable with interferon alpha and ribavirin treatment, so surgeons who are exposed to an infection risk should seek medical advice and antibody measurement. Human immunodeficiency virus. The type 1 human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, is one of the viruses of surgical importance because it can be transmitted by body fluids, particularly blood. It is a retrovirus that has become increasingly prevalent through sexual transmission, both homo and heterosexual, intravenous drug addiction and in infected blood products used to treat patients with hemophilia in particular. The risk in surgery is mostly through needle stick injury during operations. The risk of opportunistic infections, such as pneumocystis, carinary pneumonia, tuberculosis and cytomegalovirus, and neoplasms, such as Kaposi sarcoma and lymphoma, is thereby increased. In the early weeks after HIV infection, there may be a follicular illness and, during the phase of seroconversion, patients present the greatest risk of HIV transmission. It is during these early phases that drug treatment, highly active antiretroviral therapy, HAART, is most effective through the ability of these drugs to inhibit reverse transcriptase and protease synthesis, which are the principal mechanisms through which HIV can progress. These drugs suppress the virus but do not clear it completely from the body, and treated patients can still transmit the virus to others. Within 2 years, untreated HIV can progress to acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, AIDS, in 25 to 35% of patients. Universal precautions. Patients may present to surgeons for operative treatment if they have a surgical disease and they are known to be infected, at risk, or because they need surgical intervention related to their illness for vascular access or a biopsy when they are known to have hepatitis, HIV infection or AIDS. Particular care should be taken when there is a risk of splashing, aerosol formation, particularly with power tools. Universal precautions have been drawn up by CDC in the USA and largely adopted by the NHS in the UK. In summary, these are: filled circle use of a full face mask ideally, or protective spectacles, filled circle use of fully waterproof, disposable gowns and drapes, particularly during seroconversion. Filled circle boots to be worn, not clogs, to avoid injury from dropped shafts. Filled circle double gloving needed, a larger size on the inside is more comfortable. Filled circle allow only essential personnel in theatre. Filled circle avoid unnecessary movement in theatre. Filled circle respect is required for shafts, with passage in a kidney dish. Filled circle slow meticulous operative technique is needed with minimized bleeding. After contamination, needle stick injuries are commonest on the non-dominant index finger during operative surgery. Hollow needle injury carries the greatest risk of viral transmission. The injured part should be washed under running water and the incident reported. Local policies dictate whether post-exposure anti retroviral treatment should be given. Occupational health advice is required after high-risk exposure, together with the need for hepatitis, HIV testing and the option for continuation in a non-operative specialty. COVID-19 pandemic. The global pandemic of coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19, was announced by the World Health Organization on the 11th of March 2020. As of the 16th of August 2021, more than 207 million cases and more than 4.36 million deaths had been reported in 210 countries. The rapid spread of the outbreak has had short-term implications for global healthcare systems, including the field of surgery. Many hospitals were forced to stop or postpone elective surgical interventions during the FRST wave in early to mid-2020. However, emergency surgery and time-sensitive surgery, i.e. cancer surgery, continued with relevant precautions, including the use of personal protective equipment. COVID-19 is a contagious respiratory and vascular disease. The etiology is severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, SARS-CoV-2, figure 5.12a, which is a specific type of coronavirus. Common symptoms include fever, cough, fatigue, shortness of breath or breathing difficulties as well as loss of smell and taste. The incubation period may range from 1 to 14 days. While most people have mild symptoms, some people develop acute respiratory distress syndrome, ARDS, possibly precipitated by a cytokine storm, multi-organ failure, septic shock, and hypercoagulable states. Longer-term damage to organs, in particular, the lungs and heart, has been observed. Complications in postoperative surgical patients infected with COVID-19 in either an elective or emergency setting may include pneumonia, figure 5.12b, ARDS, multi-organ failure, septic shock and death. Measures to control COVID-19 related morbidity and mortality have thus been implemented by many countries, including a mandatory preoperative cocooning of elective surgical patients 10 to 14 days prior to surgery and preoperative COVID-19 swab testing 2 to 3 days prior to elective surgery. Like many other viral infections, there is no definite pharmacological cure for this infection, although there has been some evidence for supportive care, e.g. with hydroxychloroquine and dexamethasone. Multiple vaccines were made available at the end of 2020 and, currently, the majority of countries have most of their population vaccinated.